Hey there, sports fans. It's WHMP Sportz here with Yes Way Rosé. Yes Way Rosé is a bright and sunny taste that is great for casual hangs and sunny days and epic celebrations. Well, it's not a sunny day, but it is a casual hang in Lee and Karmell's hot tub. And is it an epic celebration day? Well, if you were watching the Western States and Hardrock lotteries today, you know that it is an epic celebration. So let's talk to Lee and Karmell with our Yes Way Rosé, not an official sponsor, about today's lottery and their plans. Pardon my hand. Lotteries. So who found out first that you had gotten into a race?
That would have been me.
And how'd you find out?
So I got a message. Well, first off, I had checked into the Hard Rock Lottery. Now it was way too boring to keep watching because they talk forever before they start pulling names. So I knew they weren't pulling names yet because I checked in and I was like, I'm going back to my Jane Goodall podcast. She's way easier to listen to than these guys. Sorry. Don't ban me from Hard Rock. Okay. So then as I flipped back to the Jane Goodall, I went to go change back to Jane Goodall, and there's a message from one of our running friends that says congratulations. And I just knew right away, this is somebody who would only be messaging me. I knew, I'm like, shit, I got into Western States. Which we'll get into that reaction more later, I'm sure. But yeah, my initial reaction, I picked up my phone and I was like, shit. So then I called Lee, or you called me.
I called you.
I was going to
message me.
Yeah, I was going to call you right as I saw it.
Lee and I were on our way to brunch.
Yeah, I was picking up my phone to call you, and then it's saying Lee. So she was calling me, so I answered. I was like, I'm going to Western States, and we're talking, and then I'm like, my concern is that you're going to get into Hard Rock because you have so many tickets, and the summer's going to be a logistical nightmare.
And then what happened, Lee?
Another series of dings in my ear on my phone, which told me that I'd already gotten the 12 dings of messages about congrats to Karmell. And then there was this long pause of 20 minutes where there was maybe one ding.
It was not 20 minutes. It was maybe 5.
No, there was a good 15 or 20 minutes between when I first called her and then, because I got off the phone with you and called her. And I didn't find out about Hard Rock till I was in your driveway.
No, because it was only I hung up the phone with you and only a very short amount of time passed before I called you back and was like, you're going to Hard Rock.
It was a very short amount of time.
Yeah, it was 5 or 10 minutes.
This lapse in memory brought to you by Yes Way Rosé.
But yeah, because it was
not an official sponsor.
Oh no, I just broke our hot tub thing. But it was just so ironic because literally I'm like, I'm just worried you're gonna get into Hard Rock. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Bye. And then it's 5 minutes later, you're in Hard Rock.
So why is it nerve-wracking that you're in Western States and you're in Hard Rock?
I don't know.
Well, I think there are some things about the summer that I can't necessarily divulge, personal life issues that are really up in the air for the summer, which might make summer really kind of chaotic and busy. But
And these races are how many weeks apart?
2 weeks apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't both
in
run them,
different states.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we both go to each other's. We generally try to go to each other's.
Yeah, and these
things.
races are both out west, and we live in Cleveland.
Yeah, so
Ohio.
one's in California, one's in Colorado.
Yes,
2 weeks apart.
the best
so,
Cleveland, by the way. Sorry, Tennessee.
Yeah, and then also, so currently we are not. I guess I'll just speak for myself. I'm not in the best shape by any means that I have been. And I am also currently kind of battling off a mini injury, because when I got back to it, I went a little more full force than I should have. We did not stand on top of the strength exercises while we took a few months off of running, and then I was like, I'm back, and we all know how that goes. I know better.
Yeah.
Logically, I know better.
Who hasn't injured themselves within the past year going back into training when they shouldn't have?
Yeah. But what about you? I mean, I don't want to speak for Lee. Was it all excitement for you? I wasn't there for your initial reaction. You already knew when I called you. I wasn't the one who you found out from. You already knew when I said you're going to Hard Rock.
She was pretty excited.
Was it? Because you saw it.
Yeah.
So what did you witness?
She Lee's not a jump up and down and be like, woohoo, I got in, but she's definitely happy. You've wanted to do this race for a while,
Yeah,
right?
she's like played off like,
But I've also-
Hard Rock sucks, who cares? But then like,
I didn't say it sucks. Who cares?
You guys are gonna get kicked out of both these races.
No, but I've been waitlisted 3 times, and after a point, you're like, because you hope. You know how it is when you get your hopes up for a thing over and over. But I also knew the likelihood of getting in this year was real high because I had 156 tickets.
256, is that what you
256.
said? It sounded like you said 156.
I did.
You had 256 tickets.
256.
I only saw like one person with more tickets than you. Not to say that I saw everyone with
So
tickets,
the likelihood
but-
was real high. Like me and my friend Jeff knew, because Renee and I had talked about it, his wife, because they both run ultras, that we both had 256 tickets. So in all likelihood, we're going. I really should have just held a place from like 2 months ago, but it's all good. But it's that thing where you get your hopes up for something, and think like it was such a big deal 10 years ago, you know, and then you get to the point where you're like, yeah, this again, so you stop.
So you're kind of like prepared for disappointment.
Well, and to be fair, the times that I've seen her be
preparing
like,
for anything. You're just like, okay, I'm done preparing or even thinking about it, but I'll still put my name in.
yeah. To be fair, the times I've seen her be like, who cares about Hard Rock anyway? It's been like, I think, emotional coping because we've literally gone out to Silverton because she was #1 on the wait list. This has been like a years long like struggling with the wait list and.
So
I got to where I was like, if I'm on the wait list, I'm not going to plan on it. I'm just gonna skip.
You can't plan on
I'm gonna wait
anything.
till my
like it's
name gets
really
called. Like last year, I made no plans. I got to #1 on the wait list, and I made absolutely no reservations or plans. I decided I don't care. Like 2 months out, I was like, I'm not picked yet. I'm not doing it. If they pick me, I'll defer, because you get to the point where you have to plan the rest of your life. And like, it's a cool race, but it's a single race. There's a lot of other beautiful races. I'm really happy I get to do
well,
it.
you
but
guys
I'm also
did a
not
lot of
gonna put
beautiful
life on
races
hold.
last year,
We
but
did.
you
Yeah,
said
we
this
did.
year you're going to do fewer races.
Yeah,
So,
so this
you're not
fits.
going to stack them quite as much.
So this year we were going Divide 200 is the A race in September, and then
Which
we
Hard Rock
were
would be a good tune-up
we
for
were
that.
very seriously
actually
discussing
kinda lucky.
Cruel Jewel, and we were like, and that's probably it. And we'll see about Western States and Hard Rock, but at the same time thinking like it's not happening. I did wake up this morning though with this feeling of just like it's such a bad year for this to happen. We're both gonna get picked, and it happened exactly how I thought. I thought I would get into Western States and she would get into Hard Rock. That's like the feeling I woke up with this morning. And I'm like, we're just gonna figure it out
You're
though,
psychic.
because we are. I am still excited. I want to be clear about that. I'm happy I get to go do this. It's just there's some obstacles and some logistics to work out, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna manage it.
So what's the training plan? What changes from your normal training plan?
Well, very little, because we were already looking at an A race in September. It's a 200 miler with 42,000 feet of gain. Not a ton of high altitude, but it's high enough up there, and that's enough climbing, and it's far. So really, the only thing that changes is needing to have a little more discipline a little bit sooner. Because in order to have a good recovery from Cruel Jewel and a good recovery from Hard Rock and not lose a ton of training time, I feel in very good shape. When I was trained up, I used to be able to run 100 and really be much, much more recovered 3 weeks later than I can be now. And it was down to training volume, which you can't just snap your fingers. I can't be like, oh, I'm going to stop 40-mile weeks and do 70-mile weeks right now. Building volume too fast is a bad plan. I could run 100 in 3 weeks from now and I would finish, but it would be, yet again, surviving and not in shape. So I won't run anything until May, and I'm going to have to actually schedule training light weeks like a sane person and stay on top of all of my hard workouts and actually make sure that I don't, because the easy runs are just as important. Like right now, then, in order to do well at that, I have to build a pretty big base past what I've been doing lately. And I have like years and years as an athlete, so there is some, but that means doing a lot of hours of like zone fucking 1 or the bottom of zone 2. Like really, people very much underappreciate how important it is to have a big base of extremely easy miles. Most people overdo their easy miles, and it's actually just as important as the speed work and just as important as the hills in terms of your long-term performance, because of things with muscle fibers and muscle cells and
we're going to do a
mitochondria.
podcast on that.
So we're going to cover that in a podcast. But
a
the
podcast? Is
the
this just a
answer is
teaser?
yes.
Okay.
We're bringing back the
well,
listen
considering
while
I
you're
have like 18% battery left on my phone, it's a good thing this is just a teaser for the podcast.
Yes.
So we're going to have to stay tuned for training. So before the battery runs out on my phone, it's asking me if I want to turn on, okay, I have 10%.
My phone's out here. We could change.
Well,
we could
no,
do,
we're
we could do
fine.
round 2, or we could just do quick.
They're just going to have to tune into the podcast.
Yeah, the answer is discipline and consistency.
All right.
Yeah.
Any stretch goals beyond finishing that you're prepared to talk about for these races?
Specifically for like Western States.
Yes.
No, you know what? I think for me it's just about showing up and having like a performance that I'm really proud of, and I think that's what started to kind of be lost with slamming all the races. Was it was just getting through each one, and they were all kind of blending together. So it's about just putting it kind of like on more of a pedestal and doing some targeted training for that race and doing the best I can at that one specific race. So what kind of performance that is, we will see. But I just want to cross the finish line feeling proud and like I did my best and like it wasn't slog, you know.
Yeah, I haven't been all the way trained up and all the way in shape since 2019.
So you want to be there.
So yeah, I got injured during pandemic and stopped training right, and then went from knowing that I was coming out of injury and not training properly because I couldn't, to race after race after race instead of ever rebuilding. Like I had some pauses where I half rebuilt, which is how I survived the hundreds, and I'm still unhospitalized and not needing any orthopedic intervention. But I'm not in the shape I used to be in. And sure, I'm 51 and I'm not in my 40s anymore, but a lot of it's down to training. It's going to take huge discipline with like hip strength for both of us, I think. We both have things.
So would you say your goal is the same as Karmell's, just something you can be proud of?
Yes, because I can't really set a time goal on a course I've never been on that has that amount of altitude and elevation. We'll see. If Curl Drill goes really well, that'll give me a better idea. But still, I haven't been at that kind of elevation in years. So I have some very specific strength and fitness stuff. It's, you know,
so are those going to be the topics
slacking
of the podcast? Training,
yes.
Mostly training stuff.
Like
recovery runs and light runs, and kind of like what Lee was talking about, how there just needs people run their easy runs too hard.
So
that's going to be the
are you
main
expecting
focus.
people to be running their easy runs while listening to these upcoming podcasts?
Yeah, that's
a good idea.
Yeah, that's why
right.
it's called the Listen While You Run podcast. You
Okay.
can do, like all sorts of runs with it.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Oh, shutting down.
Oh, right in time.
Yeah.